what's up? 360 JZ. You know how we do. Don't own the copyright to that saying. That's 360 JZ. Yo, what up, Jules Mechanic? Don't own that either. Y'all doing good, bro. Keep their stuff going, man. People love that stuff. I love that stuff. Yeah, nice videos, guys. Yeah. Anyway, this one here, 05 Infiniti G35X, 05. Problem with the transmission, slipping, VDC light on, check engine light on, all that stuff. I had that problem. I don't have it anymore. I just want to share. Man, you got a car like this and you like your car. Engine's okay, not bad mileage on it. It's okay. You know, you got it for a good price. You got it as a gift, whatever. And you want to do something with it. People like these kinds of cars. They're doing things with them. You know, the IPL especially, right? This one's in good shape, not too bad. So, you know, I did some things on her, changed some things on her, right? And so, transmission problem. Slipping, doesn't shift, you know, that kind of thing, all right? You got your VDC light on, light on. You got check engine light, the transmission light flashes on, off. Sometimes it's telling you there's a transmission problem with this thing, and you know it because it ain't shifted. You can't drive it down the road without feeling you're not gonna get to where you gotta go and get back, man. You know how we do. Yeah, so what's the problem with it? With this, once you verify it, okay, you can go through all that technical stuff, verify what the problem is, and you got diagnostic tools, whatnot. You can pull the codes and, you know, have streaming data and all that stuff. Engine on, engine off, streaming data. What, you know, you can do all that technical stuff. But this thing's got a Bosch TCM inside the transmission, man. It's floating around. It's being, you know, in transmission fluid. It ain't floating around. It's attached to the valve body. Okay, so you got to pull the pan off. You got to pull the valve body off. Easy stuff. Okay, if you got the mechanical aptitude, you got the tools, you got the time, you get this thing high up in the air, man, where you can move around underneath. It ain't gonna fall on you, right? You got room to move around underneath, move your tools around underneath, do what you got to do. You're safe. You get under there, you drain the oil, right? Take the pan off, man. Take pictures of, you know, you take pictures of video, some kind of mathematical system you need to have. A must before you start touching that valve body in terms of taking it off, right? You gotta bend some wires out. You know, the O2 sensor wires, you know, the brackets. You gotta bend them out of the way. Don't break them. You know, don't mess with them. If they ain't bad, man. If they ain't broken, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? Inadvertently. So you bend the brackets out of the way for the O2 sensors. Couple them. And take all the bolts out, 10 mil bolts out of the pan, the transmission oil pan. Take the pan off, okay? Don't be prying on that thing. You make sure you take all them bolts off first. You all here before you start screwdriving that thing off. It ain't coming off. I gotta pry it off. No, don't be doing that, right? Them pan, they're sensitive in them things, and it costs money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Take it off nice, man, you know, take the bolt out of the drain plug bolt, leave it out, you know, get some air in there, and you get them bolts off of the pan itself, all of them. You double check, triple check, you got to, you know, all the bolts off before you start prying that thing off. Get it off, right? And then you got to look what's happening inside. You don't want to see metal, too much metal flakes and all that, you know, too much chunks of metal, all that. And then this job, what you're going to do ain't going to help you for long, or not at all, right? That's a bigger problem. So anyway, you got diagnostics again to back up what kind of problem you got, right? The code pulling and all that, reading the code and all, you know what I'm saying? So, all right, so we're here. You got to take pictures. You got a mathematical system in place. I can't stress that enough. Keep them bolts in order. They need to be in order. They need to go back exactly where you got them from. They need to be torqued down. You all here? All right. And all the wire connectors that you unplug. You whichever way you do it. If you do it, you pull the whole harness, or you just unplugging, the sensors inside and moving the wires out of the way and then putting them back where they go. You can't really mess that up, right? So the other particular thing too is how the valve body connects to the shifter, right? So you got to be paying attention to that. Exactly it's got to line up in the middle, all right? And not too much to the left, too much to the right, and all this nonsense. It's got to line up, right? When you take it down, you pay specific attention to that manual valve and how it's got to realign. When you put it back in, the valve body back in, right? Anyway, you got the valve body out, man. You had your Matic system before you did that. You keep all them bolts in order. You get a cardboard. You mark it out, the circuit of how the location of all those bolts. You mark, make holes, put them in there. Bolt number 1, bolt number 2, whatever system. You have to have a mathematical system. Keep them bolts in, okay? They got to go back the way they got to go back. Just like from the factory, right? You don't be creating stuff. You have problems. And one particular bolt aligns the valve body to the transmission exactly where it needs to be, right? So you got to have that system down pat. So anyway, now you got the valve body out. You got to put it on a clean cloth on a table somewhere. And you got to take the TCM. That's that part that got all that black plastic on it. That's got to come out. There's a process you got to follow to do that, all right? You got to, again, it has to be mathematical, right? Don't be, have your girl, hey, honey, we got to go to the store, yeah, and you'll be forgetting. No, you can't do that. So you got to take the TCM off of the valve body, and now you got to go fix some shorts inside that thing. You know what I'm saying? You clean it up, make it dry, you take it to some well-lighted place, man. You got to put binoculars on, so you can find out where them broken circuits are inside there. You fix them broken circuits in there using copper wire and flux and then solder. So you attach this, rebuild the circuit with the copper wire as a backup. Then you put the flux on the copper wire, and then you solder that thing back. Man, it works like a charm, I'm telling you. Right? And you got to shake it, and like you're improvising, you are mimicking, going over bumps. You're bringing back that, it's like you by moving that circuit up and down with a screwdriver, your fingers, whatever, right? To see, if it's gonna hold. If it doesn't hold, you resolder it. You got to be nice. Be careful you don't be dropping stuff inside the TCM and be forgetting. That thing's got to be clean when you put it back together. You check the whole thing, man, right? You use a sealant if you're going to go crazy on it and take stuff off where you need to reseal. You got to clean out all that up with a toothbrush, Don't be shorting stuff out with metal, man. Use plastic, you know what I'm saying? When you're prying that stuff in around, the circuits and prying off the plastic off of the TCM, you might need a little screwdriver. Don't be shoving it in there, and you don't know what you're prying on. You'll be breaking circuits. So you opening up the plastic and finding out you broke a circuit. No, maybe it was no. Be careful. Fix only what's broken, bro. Don't be breaking stuff, right? Expensive, man. Luxury band after all. So now it's easy to do. I don't want to scare nobody. Man, if the car's yours and you paid money for it, it's paid for, and you want to do something with it, don't be spending $25,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $5,500, $6,000, $7,000. No, that's what the dealers want, man. And you take it to a shop, they got to take the transmission out, rebuild the whole thing, man. It costs you $1,500 just to rebuild, and then another $1,500 to put her in, take her out. You know that. You know what I'm saying? That's like, $3,000, bruh. You might not want to spend that kind of thing on these kind of cars. You do it yourself, for a few bucks, no problem, right? Copper wire, solder, the solder gun, ain't no big thing. You can do it. I did it. This thing runs like a champ, okay? Now you get it out. You fix that TCM, you check it, double check it. Make sure you don't have any shorts when you put it back in, because you're checking with a piece of plastic pry bar that's plastic. You're gently checking everything off, every electrical connection on the inside the TCM. You check, right? That they look fragile. You shake them up. You find a loose something. You solder. You use the same system to fix it. Copper wire, flux, solder, right? And you do some detailing on it. You don't want it to be shorting out on other circuits, because you put too much solder on, or something like that. You leave a little piece of wire hanging out, that's going to short out on a bump with some other circuit. Man, you have big problems. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful of all that. Right? Mathematical system. You just keep that in mind. Mathematics, right? In terms of you keeping track of what you're doing and what you're going to do and what you should do. Man, make it all. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So you reinstall and do the reverse you do the reverse, right? And to reinstall stuff, you got to put the TCM back onto the valve body. Make sure it's all cleaned up, man. Make sure everything's torqued down. All the bolts are where they should be. All solenoids are good. There's a process of checking the solenoids while you're there. If you want to replace them, you got the cash to do that. Want to throw some new ones in there? Here, why not? It's right. You're right there, right? You don't want to, you can do a resistance check on all of the solenoids, and you can compare them to specs, and you're good. All right? So you're doing that. Things are good. Everything's good. You're putting it back together. You put it back together. Put the TCM onto the valve body. Put the valve body back in, using your mathematical system of putting the bolts back where they should go, connecting stuff that should be connected, putting the straightening up them brackets for the O2 sensors. After you put the panel, you torque everything down, you put the oil in her, put the car on the ground. Make sure everything's good before you put the car on the ground. You get all the tools from where you might have left them or whatnot, man. Yeah. And then now you putting the oil inside the transmission. I just use Valvoline stuff, man, J-oil. That's what I put in there. It's still in there for now, a couple of months now. Still running strong. Man, the thing, I'm gonna burn rubber with this. Go sideways like a drifter. You know what I'm saying? Things are happening. You can do it. Just want to encourage somebody, or maybe a couple of people on YouTube. It ain't hard, man. You got the money. You're this car was owned by an accountant. And he had some transmission problem, decided to park it up. He was going to get to it, right? So I got through it, got the car for $2,500. I thought maybe I paid $1,000 too much. But I got it running and driving, but I knew it was what the problem was. I could fix it. So now she's okay, man. I'm ready to move on to my next project pretty soon. I hope it's going to be a 240Z, man, like a 76, 77, 75, a 240, 280, 300. Yeah, I get a 300 with a double turbo. I don't know. I like the Nissans. I like them Infinitis. That's my thing. You know what I mean? Especially them 240s, man. The old 240s. The ones in the 80s, they're not too bad too. The SXs and all that, man. You got all kinds of Nissans. People using them for drift cars and whatnot, man. It's happening. I like it. Hope this helps somebody on YouTube. You know how we do. Peace out.